it's time for Happy Joy March, and this is where I count down some of my favorite things that happened this month. So let's get started. The first thing that I really enjoyed this month was House of Cards with Kevin Spacey. It's on Netflix. It's one of their original series, and I was addicted to that show pretty much just one really late Saturday night when I got home from the comedy club. I pretty much spent, I don't know, 3 a.m. from Saturday until a good portion of Sunday morning just enjoying Kevin Spacey and watching that whole show over 2 days. It was amazing. I highly recommend it. It's very addictive. The only thing I'm kind of mad at is now I have to wait for season 2. So House of Cards is kind of like Scandal, The Wire, and The West Wing. So if you like those shows, you're pretty much gonna love Kevin Spacey and House of Cards. The next thing I really enjoyed this month was just getting caught up in a ton of documentaries. One of my friends told me about this really great documentary. It's called Sellebrity, and it's spelled S-E-L-L, Celebrity. Entertainment industry and how people sell their image and how they sell products and how people really sell themselves and how people can make their own sustainable little ecosystems. It's really well done, and the makers of the movies are some pretty powerful photographers who have relationships with the stars of their PR industry, and you get interviews with the stars. Jennifer Aniston's in it. Salma Hayek gives a great interview. I believe Mary Louise Parker's in there, and there's a couple of others. And I think if you're going to watch a documentary about fame and just about the new culture of fame and media and the 24-hour news cycle, that's definitely one you want to watch. The next documentary that I ended up watching over that same weekend, I believe, but it was not the same weekend that I watched House of Cards, is called Sexy Baby, and this one too has to do with the internet, but it has to do more with the sexualization and the new culture of sex and the internet and parenting. And if anything, it was just another documentary where it's one of those things where I watch it and I'm like, I'm never having kids. It was interesting because it tells it from different viewpoints, from the parents' viewpoint, from the kids' viewpoint. And I will say that one of the girls that was in it, I believe she was 12 or 13, and she lives in New York City. One of the kids, she was pretty honest about how the internet affects them growing up and how it affects their sexuality. One of the quotes from the show, she's obviously obsessed with Facebook like many people that I can't stand. And one of the things she said was, kids and girls in her class want to seem like they're down to fuck, but they don't necessarily want to fuck. And those are her exact words. And I just thought, oh my god, you know, but it's true. And I remember I kind of went through that, not at 13, but I kind of went through that in college. So I'm a couple years behind, but I think it was one of the most raw and honest documentaries I've seen in a while, and I absolutely loved that girl in it because it was just very brutal with her truths. This documentary that I ended up watching, I believe it's called America in Prime Time, and it's really well done. That one too, I think it just shows the history of storytelling in TV and film, and it tells it from the way we write different characters, from the misfits point of view, from like the father as an archetype, from the mother, from her point of view. And it was really sweet and really well done. I really enjoyed that one as well. I believe there's four episodes. They're about an hour long each, but it really is a really nice history of film. And if you're a filmmaker, or you want to be a director or a producer, or you're just into filmmaking, I highly recommend watching that episode on Netflix, that show on Netflix. The thing that I really enjoyed this month, I'm still reading The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty, and I'm about 75% done, and it's very sexy. It's a very sexy book. I did not know it was BDSM. I don't even really see it from that point of view. I still see it as a story about a girl and a prince and some sexiness. So I don't know, I'm not reading it from that erotic point of view. It is very sexy. sexy, and if you're not into a very sexual book, you're not going to enjoy it. I can tell you that right now. I think the last book that I read that was quite as sexual probably was Through the Glass Darkly, and that's one of my favorite books of all time by Carleen Cohen, I believe is her name. So I'm 75% done with it. I'm loving it, and there are 3 books in the series. It's far better written than 50 Shades of Grey. So if you're reading 50 Shades of Grey and you're like, oh, this is crap, I want something better written, I highly recommend The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty. I'm trying to finish it before my book club starts next month's books, so then I can dive into those. Something I didn't like this month though, which I usually never talk about, but I think I kind of sort of will, just this one little thing, was I didn't like the Casual Vacancy all that much. I actually didn't like it at all, but I'm glad I read it because I really wanted to see what J.K. Rowling was going to write after Potter, but it wasn't good. So I feel like the first half of the book was just a rough draft, and the last, I don't know, 15% of it was actually a final draft. I felt like she just ignored the whole revision process and the whole rewriting process. So yeah, it was kind of not, you know, but I am glad that I read it because I did want to see what she was going to write after Harry Potter. I think the hardest thing as a writer is when you have a great idea and you have a great story, you always wonder, can I replicate it? She did not do that with this book, but I do think that children's young adult literature is easier, and that's kind of what Potter was, is easier to write. If she's looking to top Harry Potter, I don't think she should even try. I think she should just try to write good stories. She did not do that here. Alright you guys, so that's it for my favorites this month. Let me know, did you guys see any of these shows? Did you like them? Or what were your favorite things this month? What are you watching? What are you watching on TV? What movies did you like? What books are you reading? I want to know so that I can check them out too. Leave me a comment and let me know. To quote the greatest show on earth, live long and prosper. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.